I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be how to close a deal in bed. I got an email here from a guy who looks like he's been working on converting his girlfriend into a sex playmate or friends with benefits or maybe even a future girlfriend of his. And so they've been out on a few dates now, and he's actually gone for the kiss, but no French kissing yet. And so he's basically like, when do I put my move on? How do I get it to lead to sex? And first thing I would say is obviously you got to read my book first. But let's go through his email here, and we'll just go through each item. He says, "Hello, Corey. I have a friend that I've been liking for a long time, and I have been in the friend zone for 6 years." Dude, that's a fucking long time, man. I hope it's not the only girl that you've been carrying a torch for the past 6 years, and you haven't dated anybody for 6 years just because you've been holding out for this one particular girl. And then, because when you do that, your skills don't get any better. And a lot of guys make this mistake of getting hung up on one chick before she's earned it, and they don't have anything else going on in their lives. They're not meeting any other women. They're not getting phone numbers. They're not going on dates. And so when you only got one girl and you like the girl, it's very hard, especially when you're learning this stuff, to do everything right, because it's like all your eggs are in one basket, basically. And so you put yourself in a scarcity state and a scarcity mindset by the very fact that she's the only girl that's out there. And for a lot of guys who are learning to deal with their own emotional insecurities, hanging back and being confident and not chasing after a woman is extremely hard to do. He says, "Since I've read your book about 3 times with 7 more to go," I usually say 10 to 15 times. You want to get to know the material so well, you could literally give a seminar on it. Why? Because there's so much. There's stuff that covers pickup, there's stuff that covers dating, there's stuff that covers relationships in the book, and they all are interconnected, and you need to learn all of it. It's 228 pages, and it's a ton of information. And so when you're in a situation with a woman, you can't just say, "Oh, wait a minute, let me look at my dating book here and see what I should." You just can't do that. You got to know the stuff on the fly to respond to it. And so if you've only read my book 1 or 2 times, you're still going to be making unnecessary mistakes just simply because you don't know the material well enough, and therefore you're not able to think on your feet and do what's next or the right step next in order to get the results that you want. He says, "So I finally had the balls to go for the kiss on the lips, but I didn't go for the French kiss. So we've kissed a couple of times since then, and I want to know what I should be doing to close the deal." Well, here's the deal about kissing. So, whatever reason, you went on a date, you went for the kiss, but there was no tongue involved. And the best way to handle that is because at the end of every date with this particular woman, the thing you got to keep in mind is you want to keep it to doing things only her lover would do. And what do I mean by that? Don't go to the movies. Don't take her to lunch. Don't do any of that fucking bullshit. You want to, because women, the whole purpose of a date is for the guy to hopefully create a romantic opportunity for sex to happen. Simple as that. And women will sleep with you if you know what you're doing, if you can communicate to her that you know how to handle yourself in this situation, that you're confident, that you're cognizant of how she feels, her level of comfort with you in a moment. Because at the end of the day, we're all sexual beings. Men and women, women are just as much freaks in the bedroom as us guys are. It's just that for most men, they don't know how to handle the subject or interacting with women in a way, whether it's just talking about sex or interacting with them in a way where sex can possibly happen. And so it's awkward. And so even though a girl might feel attraction for you, because you don't know what to do and your body language sucks or you're saying something that's stupid, she knows right from what you said or the tone of your voice that this guy's he's not getting anybody else. He doesn't have any other women in his life. And a woman's not going to want you if she thinks you're not popular and successful with other women. As a matter of fact, if she thinks and she knows that you're dating lots of other women, her perception is going to change, because every other guy that she knows is chasing her, trying to get her to go out, and yet you got all these other women that are after you, and she's going to go for the guy that all the other women are chasing because she's going to perceive you as a catch and think, "Hey, I can get this guy all to myself." So back to the kissing part. So you go in for the kiss, and what I like to do is, when it comes to, you don't just stick your tongue in her mouth. You gently when you go in for the kiss and your lips make contact, it's just you stick your tongue. It's like your tongue is like right there. It's like right on the tip, and so as you go to kiss, her tongue will be there, and you can kind of glance. And so if your tongues touch while you're kissing, then you can move it around a little bit and just enjoy it. But if you go just to kiss her and there's no tongue back, then pull yours back. Pull your tongue back. Don't just, don't stick your tongue in her mouth and just, like you're fucking vacuum cleaning your pool or your jacuzzi or something. The idea is it's like a probing touch, gentle touch. You're touching your lips, and then so your tongue is obviously in between your two lips, and so you're just going to kind of give it a little swipe to see, it's kind of like in a way your tongue comes across her lips like this, either way. And if she's feeling that comfortable too, she'll move her tongue to meet yours, and then you just kind of can go from there naturally. So he says, I know she probably thinks I'm weak as water and probably about to kick me to the curb soon. Well, that sounds really fucking confident. I'm sure you're not doing anything or saying anything that's making her think that you're weak as water. So how do you suggest I handle this situation from here on out? Okay, here's the bottom line. With all women that you're meeting and dating and going out with, and what I talk about in my book, is that you plan one date per week. You call it a girl once a week, you ask her out on a date, you make definite plans, you go out on a date, you have a good time, and at the end of the date, you don't tell her you're going to call her for another date or any of that stuff. It's like you strictly stick to courting and dating her properly, creating a romantic opportunity for sex to happen by planning dates in the evenings. Definite dates. Confident guys plan definite dates. Why? Because their schedule is busy, and they're certainly not going to make plans with a flaky chick that's going, gee, I'm not sure where I'm able to be at this point in my life right now, or, why don't you call me on Thursday and see where we're at. A busy guy, a successful guy that's got lots of women after him, he's going to say, you know what? Sounds like you're too jammed up this week. Why don't we just do it some other time? Then she'll go, okay. Or if she really wants to see him, she'll go, no. He'll either make definite plans with her or just say, we'll do it some other time. And if she goes, okay, yeah, let's do it some other time, he'll wait a week or maybe 2 weeks, call her one more time, try to get her to go out. And if she gets the same flaky response, boom, he gets rid of the number. Because successful guys, it's like, we don't have fucking time to waste. It's like, I'm not going to go out on a date and blow $100 or $150 taking a chick out to a nice place, a nice bottle of wine or something, to do all that, and she's just not really that excited to see me. It's like, there's no fucking way. If she's not going, oh, I'm so glad you called. I thought maybe you forgot about me. I can't wait to see you. I'm looking forward to this. If she's not excited about it and trying to make it easy for you to get to her front door, you shouldn't be wasting your time and especially your money going out with her. So the point being is that you want to date her once a week and you go out with her once a week. And at the end of the night, when you take her to her front door, you go for the kiss. Now, what typically happens, maybe the second or third time this happens, is you're kissing, you're making out, the kissing's very passionate, and then there's some heavy petting involved, and then she'll say, you want to come inside. And when a woman says that, it's basically, it doesn't mean, hey, you're going to get laid, buddy. It means, you know what? I like what's happening so far, so let's go inside and let's see where it goes from there. She's bringing you into her domain, and the very fact that she's invited you in other words, is basically saying, potentially, as long as you don't fuck up and you play your cards right, you may be getting a little pussy tonight. That's basically what she means when she invites you in. However, she's watching to see what you're going to do. And so you go and you sit in, maybe she pours you a drink or a glass of wine, and so you're talking and blah, blah, blah. And then she sits down on the couch with you, and then you resume making out. And so what happens is that the making out gets a little bit more intense. Your hand starts to move behind her head. She puts her hand behind yours, and then the hands are going all over the body next. And as she's touching you more, then you just start exploring. Go, grab her boob right away, or stick your hand down her pants right away. It's just like slow exploring, because remember, women like things to happen slowly. They like to discover things. They want to wonder about things. I mean, obviously, you can pull your pants down with your big boner and say, let's get to it. There's nothing exciting. That's not romance. There's nothing romantic about that. And so the idea is that as the petting gets heavier, and if say I was a chick, it's like basically it's like you take her, say she's got a sweater on or something, you slowly take it off, or you start undoing the buttons on her shirt, or if she's got like a t-shirt, kind of like I have underneath here, and she's got her bra on, if you're good with your fingers, you know how to undo the bra with a little flick move in the back, depending on the kind of bra that it is. And the bra comes off, and you see how she is with that, and you just keep making out, and then your hand goes underneath the, her shirt in the back, and so now you're feeling your hand up and down her back, where the bra strap's just kind of dangling in there, and then you slowly move your hands around to the front of the shirt, and then you lift up the cup, and then then you just start massaging her nipple a little bit, and you see how she is with that. Now, if she's uncomfortable, if you're going too far, too fast, she'll stop you. She'll pull your hand down. It doesn't mean that's it. It's the end of the evening. It just means like, whoa, cowboy, you need to slow down. And so when a woman does that in that particular moment, it means you're going too fast for her. She's not quite ready for that next move. And she also wants to see what happens when she tells you to slow down. And if you're cool with it, and if you know what you're doing, if you're an experienced guy, it's not a big deal because, hey, it's in the fucking bag, and this is what always happens. Even if the chick rebuffs you, an hour or two from now, we'll be fucking. Because that's your attitude. Now, impatient guys that haven't been in this situation very much will go, what's wrong? What's the matter? Why can't I touch you there? And then boom, they just fucking blew it. And she's like, it's getting late. Things were great. I had a good time, but I got to get up early. And then, she'll shoo your ass right out the door, and you're done for the night. And you may not even get another date because you just communicated that you basically didn't know what you're doing. So the idea is to be gentle and take your time and see what you can get away with. Now, if she stops you and say she snaps her bra back together, it's not the end of the world. That's just the first act. And so, like I say, you take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And so, the next step is, you talk for a couple of minutes, and and you're kind of caressing her hair as she's talking. You'll continue to ask questions. And, as you start making out, same thing. A couple minutes later, the hand goes around the back, boop, nice little move with the two fingers. The bra comes undone, same thing. And then, so you're rubbing her nipple a little bit, and so it turns her on a little bit more, and she's comfortable with that. And it's no big deal. And then you take the shirt off, and then the bra comes obviously just dangling there, so the bra comes off, and she's cool with that, and you continue to make out, and you fool around, and she may start to pull your shirt out of your pants, and so let her do that, obviously. And basically, as long as she's cool with it, and then slowly unbutton her pants and maybe unzip them a little bit, and just see how that is for a moment or two as you're making out and you're caressing, and then if she's comfortable with that, you get them unzipped all the way. Then you can start, putting your hand down the back of her pants, around her butt, her butt cheeks, and as you're making out, then you can just pull her kind of on top of you, and then you can put your hand down her pants, and then you just start pulling off her pants. And you can roll her back over and just pull them off, and once her pants off, then she's in her panties, and she may continue taking your clothes off, and if she's a little, if you still got everything on and she's basically down to her underwear at this point, then take your shirt off. Escalate it a little bit more. Don't strip down real naked. It's like a slow unfolding. It's like the unwrapping of a gift, basically. And so as you get a little more comfortable, then you start putting your hands on her pants, and then you start feeling her lips. And you're like, oh, wow, she's really wet and slimy down there. That must mean she's excited. And that's fun. It's great. You start fingering a little bit, and you see where you can go. Then she's got her hand on your pants. And then basically, you get to the point where because here's the thing with sex, is that it's got to be your fault. And so if you get a woman completely naked and you're standing there basically with your pants on still, unzip your pants and take them off. Because if you do that, then once you penetrate her, then it's your fault. And then she can blame it on you the next day when her girlfriend's like, oh my God, you slept with the guy on the first date. She's like, oh, but it just kind of happened. It was so wonderful. It was just, he knew what to do. And so, like I said, that's what you do the whole time. And anytime a woman stops you, you back off, talk for a little bit. Even if she puts some of her clothes back on. Then a few minutes later, you're doing the same thing. It's like each time you get a little bit further. And, if she stops you and she starts to put a little bit more of her stuff back on, eventually, each time she'll put less and less clothes back on until it's not a big deal. And then, you're penetrating and you're inside.